What's up, guys? Bill here from DFS Fantasy Factory, going over the day 15 results for the lineup optimizer review that I'm doing for 25 days. If you're new to this video, what I'm doing here is taking these 5 lineup optimizers and tracking their optimal lineup for 25 days to see which one has the most DraftKings points at the end of the 25 days. That'll kind of give us an idea of whose projections are more accurate and better, who's using better or different algorithms for their optimizer, which I know Fantasy Labs uses quite a few different ones. You can actually select which one you want to use. Daily Fantasy Nerds, they've been doing really well as well. Obviously, since they're in first place. So we got first place Daily Fantasy Nerds, second Fantasy Labs, third RotoQL, fourth DFS Army, and fifth Draft Dashboard. I'm actually going to be doing something a little bit different today. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you a spreadsheet that a guy or a person, I shouldn't say a guy, I'm not sure if it's a guy or a girl, but on Reddit messaged me today and kind of started out a spreadsheet for me with all the points on there, and I was able to go in and figure out which each day which optimizers cashed and which ones didn't. So I'll have all the percentages that they've cashed these last 15 days and their wins and losses and all that stuff. I'll show you at the end of the video. Make sure, if you're interested in what I'm doing here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. That'll make sure that you get future notifications of videos that I'm putting out. And make sure to hit that like button. I appreciate that as well. We'll go ahead and jump into the video. And at the end of the video, I'll show you how many times these optimizers have cashed and have not cashed. Before we get started, just a reminder, I do have a vote video in the comment section below. After I get done with this video series, I will start up, I'm going to take the 2 top optimizers out of this video, or these videos, and put them up against 3 more optimizers. So make sure you stop by this video. It's down in the video description below. Click that link and vote for the next optimizers for the next video series. And here are the day 15 results. Fifth place, we got RotoQL, 258. Now the cash line today was $261 or 261 points, so they just barely missed the cash line for the double ups. And the way I'm getting the cash line is going over to Roto Grinders and using their cash lines. They have results every day, and I'm just taking the lowest double up cash line. So 258 points, missed it by 3 points. That is for RotoQL. Here's their optimal lineup. Here's their DraftKings results. Fourth place, we got Daily Fantasy Nerds. They actually scored 261 points, so they barely hit the cash line. Here's the optimal lineup. Here's their DraftKings results. So basically, 4 out of 5 of these optimizers hit the cash line today, which hasn't been the case most of these days in this 15-day series I'm doing. But yeah, they did score 261, good enough to cash and double up. Third place, we got DFS Army. Here's their optimal lineup. Here is their DraftKings results. 275 points. Second place, not a surprise, we got Fantasy Labs. Fantasy Labs and Daily Fantasy Nerds have been the top 2 pretty much every day. We got 278 for them. Here's their optimal. Here's their DraftKings results. First place, this is a big surprise because Draft Dashboard has actually scored first place the last 2 days in a row, which is very surprising. Maybe they found out I was doing this video series and decided to start updating their projections. I'm not sure how, that's probably not the case, but they got 300 points today. Here's their optimal lineup. Here is their DraftKings results. All right, here's the video results for today, which I already showed you. Here's the rankings after the video, which I forgot to switch Daily Fantasy Nerds and Fantasy Labs, but I'm not restarting the whole video for that. So Fantasy Labs is actually in first place right now, 4 points ahead of Daily Fantasy Nerds. Oops. All right, so we got, and then behind them we got RotoQL, third place, fourth place DFS Army, and fifth place Draft Dashboards. Draft Dashboard, singular. All right, just want to show you here the pricing for. I have links in the description for the top 2 optimizers, Fantasy Labs and Fantasy Nerds. Fantasy Labs is $59. Fantasy Nerds is $24.99. It's looking like Fantasy Nerds is the value pick here. They're doing just as good as Fantasy Labs, and they actually have a higher cash percent, which I'll show you here in just a minute. but they are cashing more often than Fantasy Labs, and they're only $24.99. So I did put a link down in the description where you can actually try them out for free. Just click that link, make an account. You can try them out for free. RotoQL, $29 a month. DFS Army, $39 a month. Draft Dashboard, $39 a month. So the funny thing is, Fantasy Nerds is actually, doing really well, and they are the cheapest optimizer in this whole list. So it's something to think about. All right, let's go ahead and check out this sheet here that we made. Big shout out to Kitty from Reddit. That person was the one who sent me this information and helped me out to get it started. So now all I got to do is enter the information in there, and then everything else here will calculate itself. So shout out to Kitty, appreciate it. So now we got Fantasy Labs, all the names of them right here. Here's the days that they cashed out of the 15. They've cashed 10 times. Fantasy Labs has. Nerds has cashed 12. RotoQL 7. And here's their win percent. So it's been a total of 15 days, and Fantasy Nerds is actually, oh, messed it up. Fantasy Nerds is actually cashed 80% of the time, which they've had a few close ones, but Fantasy Labs, surprising. They're in first place, and they've only cashed 66% of the time, which kind of, I guess, tells us that Fantasy Nerds has been a lot more consistent. Fantasy Labs has had some bigger wins, so I guess maybe they might be good for tournaments. They've had some nice. They've pulled away pretty good on some of the days, quite a few of the days actually. But Fantasy Nerd is actually the more consistent one, cashing more often. And I'll just scroll over and show you here. So we got the cash line down here at the bottom. Here's all the scores for today. The ones in black obviously cashed. The ones in red didn't. So today we had a cash line of last night we had a cash line of 261. So all these guys cashed. So each day after the video, I'll show you this. I guess the most important thing is just checking out the percentages, just to kind of know, how often they're hitting the cash line. So, obviously I'm only doing a 25-day review, so it's not a big piece of information that I'm doing here, but it kind of gives us an idea. We already kind of figured out we're at day 15. I kind of already know that Fantasy Nerds and Fantasy Labs have a lot better optimizers than these other three. But I'm looking forward to how they do when we start this next video series. I'm going to keep keeping track of your guys' votes that you put on that vote video, and looking forward to seeing how they do against the next three optimizers. But that 80% is pretty substantial for cash games. I don't know how long that would keep up for the long term. If somebody wants to, you could actually even go to Fantasy Nerds, make an account for free, and they give you the optimal lineup every day for free. So really, if somebody wanted to track it or check it out, you can just go do that, and then just basically use that free optimal lineup that they give you every day to put in double ups. I don't know, just an idea. I'm probably not going to mess with it too much because I'm going to keeping track on these videos. I apologize if I sound really tired. I'm been working all day and just trying to get this over with here because I am beat and ready to go to bed. So I think that's all we got for you. If you liked what you have seen in the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. I appreciate that. I guess I appreciate the likes, but if you want to see get notifications of future videos that I put out, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell icon as well, so that you get them notifications. But I think that's all I got for you. Apologize for being tired and probably sounded like an idiot, but that's all right. I'll see you guys on the next video. Good luck. I guess not really good luck tonight because there's only one game, I think, on NBA, but some people, I guess, might be playing that showdown. I'm not playing it. There won't be any lineups, won't be a video tomorrow. So obviously I can't make a contest off just one game. I don't feel like that's enough information to even be worth our time, so I'm not messing with it. But I should see you guys should be there on Thursday with a new video. So good luck to everyone. Until then, have a good one.